say something and then
Whatever
you?
you want.
Yep. You're welcome to be in shot, and then I'll
Do you
just
want
go to
to
him
pull
and then
me in when you're ready? Or?
No, you can. You're welcome to stay there. You might, if the questions get nasty, you can
I'll answer for you.
slide out or answer them for me. Yeah. Yeah, is that a good to go signal? Yeah, excellent. Well, another day, another fantastic announcement here in Gladstone. You can really start to see our vision of putting Gladstone, Central Queensland and Queensland at the centre, at the heart of the clean energy revolution that is coming globally. We talked yesterday about how we want to use our world-leading sun and wind to power the next generation of industry here in Gladstone. But it's not just sun and wind that we have going for us. We have some of the world's most skilled workers. We have some of the world's best industrial ports, like the one here in Gladstone. We have strong planning powers that allow us to push through approvals and get projects approved while maintaining community support for the health, safety and environmental impacts of these projects. We have fantastic infrastructure and in particular here in Gladstone we have a large and established industrial ecosystem for new projects to come in and be a part of. What we haven't talked a lot about is how we have fantastic feedstock that can be used to produce new generation fuels like renewable, sustainable biodiesel. And when you think about the decarbonisation pyramid, of course, first you want to electrify what you can. You want to firm that up with storage within the grid and then provide portable storage in the form of batteries where that's required. But for some industries, the technology for electrification is a long way off, and that is where renewable, sustainable biodiesel and aviation fuels will be required to meet the decarbonisation challenge. And today we announced that here in Gladstone, one of, if not the world's largest renewable, sustainable biodiesel and aviation fuel facility will be built. Oceania Biofuels, we're very pleased, have decided to build their world-leading facility right here in Gladstone on the land that we're standing on just here. They're going to build a $500 million plant. So that's a lot of jobs in construction, a lot of ongoing jobs, but of course also jobs in the supply chain. And that's exactly what we want to see as we embrace the opportunities of the clean energy revolution. They'll be able to supply local industry, supporting existing jobs and industries, but also attracting new industries that want to have access to those fuels. This also will provide us with greater sovereign capability to meet our fuel needs. And we've seen throughout the pandemic and now the troubles in Russia and the Ukraine that there is a value in producing things locally, especially things that other industries, other job-supporting industries need. And so this is a really important announcement. I understand they've been working very closely with potential customers, and I think we'll hear a bit about that as well. So this is a great announcement for Gladstone, great for Queensland, and puts us one step closer to be the renewable energy superpower that we think Queensland can be. I might ask Mayor Matt Burnett, and then we'll hear from Mike from Oceania.
Well, thanks again, Acting Premier, and thank you, Mike. Oceania Biofuels, making their home here in the Gladstone region. Well, why would you choose anywhere else? My support for the biofuels industry is well known. We just want to see all these new exciting industries come to our local region here. We saw yesterday the announcement with Orica and H2U, existing industries working with future industries, and here we have the biofuels industry cementing themselves right here in the Gladstone region. I think it's 600 million and then 500 million in the second stage. We've got hundreds of jobs in operation, in construction, 60 jobs, permanent jobs right here in Gladstone in operation, plus all those ongoing construction jobs and then the contractor jobs. We're so excited about these long-term jobs, not just the ones that we're going to get in the first instance, but right through. These industries that we announced yesterday with the Deputy Premier, Acting Premier again, and again today, It's great for central Queensland. We are so excited. Why wouldn't you come to our fantastic state development here with our most expandable port in the southern hemisphere right there as well, exporting all these amazing products right around the world. So thank you, Mike. Thank you for bringing this project to Gladstone. It's all go right here in central Queensland. Let's get on board.
Thank you. Thank you, Premier. Thanks, Matt. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for turning up. We have an overwhelming support from Queensland, Gladstone. We couldn't have asked for a better intro into this area. We've been looking for 2 years. 12 months ago, we came to Gladstone, stopped looking. This is the place. It has everything. It has infrastructure. It has roads that link the country. We have a port. We're going to build what we believe one of the biggest in the southern hemisphere. The plant will produce renewable SAF. It will produce renewable diesel. The plant initially will do 300 million litres, and stage 2 will give us 500 million litres. So 500 million litres of alternate fuel. What it does bring, though, is a reliance back to Australia. We see feedstocks leaving our country. We see too much. We're bringing it back to this country and giving this country what it deserves. So the fuel is being made here, will stay here. We're negotiating with the majors, mining companies, airlines. Qantas are on board. We see this now building a future. This is the first one in Australia, and we hope to do more. We need to drive this business. It's good for the environment, it's good for Gladstone, it's good for Queensland, and it's good for Australia. So we really embrace this. We embrace Queensland. We embrace what they've done. The government here has given us so much support compared to any other state, and we really thank you very much for that. Good on you. Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
Renewable fuels. Could you just give us a bit of an explanation of what this is and how it works?
Okay, so renewable means it either comes from the ground and we can replace it. So we have tallow, for instance, used cooking oil. We have crops that are designed now to be fuel instead of taking it from the food chain. We take waste and we turn it into diesel or SAF, and it's exactly the same. So it's a bridge for today. This bridge is being opened to allow us to put it in aeroplanes. So we get it without changing the aeroplane, without changing infrastructure. So for the next 30 to 50 years, while that infrastructure is in place, this is how we're going to push forward. It gives the airlines what they want, and it gives the country stability. It gives everybody what they need. So it's exactly the same as fuel. It's a drop-in fuel, not an additive, and that's the difference with it.
Is it more expensive?
Yes, it is more expensive, but we expect that to balance out. And the more people that get on board, it's like anything. The more you produce, then more people become reliant on it. You can look at doing further investment into it. And that's what's got to happen in this country. We need to invest. And the sooner we invest and get this right, the better for everybody.
So renewable diesel can be used in, say, cars, trucks, and those kinds of
Everything. So where previously biodiesel was a drop-in, it was like an additive. This is a drop-in fuel. It works with the existing technologies, cars, trucks, trains, and aeroplanes. It's a pure drop-in fuel.
And has it been produced before?
Yes, this. Australia is now embracing it. It should have done this 10 years ago. We're here to do it, and we're going to push it. So we're hoping, we have the next plan forward. We have an expansion plan already approved, ready to go. So yes.
So in terms of what will be produced here, reasonably across the country, how much will you be able to supply to, if people, everyday mums and dads who had a diesel car, they wanted to use renewable diesel?
It'll be a blend. We're going to produce 500 million litres, stage 1 and stage 2, just from here. So that's going to be spread out. It will go up and down the East Coast for sure. It'll go to the airlines. It can go to international. But we've got to drive policy to use it here. And as soon as that happens, you're seeing $2.50 fuel just from, as Steve said, from a war. That's what you're going to be looking at. And if you can afford it now, and it's a blend, and it's good for the environment, and we can put it back, that's good for everybody.
Deputy Acting Premier, on a different note, this morning we saw George Christensen defect and join Pauline Hanson's One Nation. Not sure yet what seat he's running in at the federal election, but what's your response to that news, given you've gone head-to-head with him a few times in the past?
Look, wherever George decides to run, I think Queenslanders can do better than George Christensen. Let's not forget how he risked the lives of Queenslanders, undermining their health advice, undermining public safety and public confidence in the vaccination program. All of that was deeply unhelpful. And so, One Nation might be the right place for him, but I don't think One Nation has much place in Queensland. I guess this is also just another one of Scott Morrison's allies who've turned on him in recent weeks. We've seen him described as a hypocrite and a liar by his own deputy, by Gladys Berejiklian, the New South Wales Premier, and now, of course, George Christensen, with whatever remarks he's going to make today about the LNP and Scott Morrison. So, this isn't me saying this. This is people who know him who say this about the Prime Minister.
Acting Premier, how appalling is it that people are waiting hours for ambulances during high demand?
Look, we are seeing incredible demand right through the length of our hospital system. And that's, of course, seen most acutely at emergency departments and with our ambulance service. I want to assure everyone that our paramedics are working absolutely as hard as they can to take care of everyone who needs it. We have an ongoing significant number of people with COVID in the community. Some of those deteriorate very quickly and do need ambulance transfer and hospital treatment. We also have, of course, the regular ongoing load, and that's been increasing dramatically as the ability to access primary healthcare services collapse in places like Gladstone. So we've seen people shift from the primary care sector, unable to access GPs, waiting too long to get care, and so their condition deteriorates and becomes more urgent. I'd say to folk who perhaps don't need to call an ambulance, please consider that our emergency departments and our ambulance services are there for emergencies. If you can get care elsewhere, the nursing staff on the 13 Health helpline do a fantastic job at helping people to decide where they can best access care. The most urgent cases are seen are collected by an ambulance in less than 10 minutes. I think the average wait time is still currently about 8.9 minutes. So our ambos do a great job at getting to those most urgent cases, but all of the cases are triaged, and that means that if your condition is less urgent, you may need to wait. But please be assured that the reason you're waiting is because our hard-working health staff, they're focused on people whose condition is more urgent, and they will get to you, and you will get the best care.
Yes, just going off that, even when patients are not a code 1, they should expect an ambulance to arrive in a timely manner?
Our ambos absolutely do everything that they can to get to every single job that is logged, but obviously they have to prioritise, and they'll always prioritise those most urgent cases and get to them first. They do a very good job of getting to them first. Our EDs do a very good job of treating them first. 99 or 100% get seen within 2 minutes. That's world-leading, world-class, but it does mean that particularly when we're seeing this very high demand, this high load of COVID cases, and let's not forget that it's not just the number of COVID cases. COVID itself puts a disproportionate effect onto the system with the need for PPE, the need to cohort and separate patients out. So yes, all of that's putting a load on the system, as well as the thousands of health staff, including paramedics, who are currently furloughed either because they themselves have COVID or someone in their household has it, and that they are therefore required to isolate. So just like every workforce, our health and ambulance workforce is being affected by that too. There's currently thousands of workers out of action.
We have obviously everything happening in ambulance ranking at the moment. There's obviously been issues out in rural areas like Claremont having access to doctors, now are having access to doctors here in Gladstone, the Gladstone Hospital. There's been a lot of contention over recent years about I guess the classification of the hospital and whether it should be upgraded to a level 4 hospital to have more services and that kind of thing. Is the Queensland health system at the moment broken, and is there something that can be done to fix it?
No, we have one of the best health systems in the world, but it is under pressure. It's under pressure from all of the different factors I just mentioned and you just mentioned. The ability to access a GP, a bulk billing GP on the day that you are sick, makes an incredible difference to the number of people who present at emergency departments. I know myself. Trying to get a GP appointment for myself or my kids sometimes can be hard on the day, and it might mean they don't get to see a doctor for a few days. Now, if your condition is one that will deteriorate if it is not treated, then your options are to wait those few days or to seek emergency care, and that's what we're seeing a lot of. A lot of people needing to seek emergency care because they either cannot get an appointment with a GP or cannot afford to pay the difference between the bulk billing rate and what their GP charges. I understand the federal opposition has a major announcement about this today, which I'm looking forward to seeing the details of. It's designed to address those urgent care needs, and so that will be I think, really interesting to have a look at. But we need to consider all of those solutions to what is not just a problem with our emergency departments or our ambulance service, but a problem with the entire health system, including primary care, GPs, aged care and disability support.
Does there need to be something like a royal commission then into healthcare across Queensland?
We've just completed a parliamentary inquiry into healthcare across Queensland, which was designed to look at all of the pressures on the system, right the way from preventative care, primary care, hospital care, aged care and disability support. No? You can ask Matt something if you like.